how to exit your body. Biggest struggle of the astral projection is learning how to exit your body. I spent 3 years understanding how it can be done, how it works, and learning in practice how to do it. Now I can access various levels of the astral plane, and I feel myself as a pioneer discoverer of new lands. Good news, you can do it too without needing to meditate thousands of hours and spending half of your life in an ashram. In this video I will explain how and what you need to do, a very practical, very easy to understand lecture without empty spiritual stuff. To begin with, I assume that it is not your first video about the astral projection and you probably saw some. As you know, they always describe how awesome an astral projection is, but when it comes to the main part, which is separation from the body, they always give some vague suggestions like wait for the vibrations to come and then try to lift or roll out from your body. But where those vibrations should come from and how to roll or lift, no one ever explained this. So we are left frustrated, having so many questions and no answers. It is as if gurus and spiritual teachers leave it up to you to figure out intuitively how it all works, or they themselves don't understand the mechanics of the whole process and can't explain it. I believe that for beginners all these suggestions makes no sense. It's like to say to the person that is blind from the birth, just press the red button. First of all, he don't know the colors, second, he never saw a button in his life. Anyway, for the beginner to successfully exit the body and enter the astral plane, it is necessary to know 4 main components. Understand the nature of the soul, understand how the soul feels like, then exercise this feeling, and finally apply it in practice. Let's begin from the first one and briefly take a look on what humanity learned about our soul's nature, and then gradually we'll go down to other 3. Tibetan monks in their thousands of years studied the human soul, came to a conclusion that it has an electrical nature. Robert Monroe, that famous founder of Monroe Institute that studies OBEs, reported being attracted to high voltage electrical cables while flying around his neighborhood in his astral form. He also reported to once being even trapped while traveling in astral in a device that he described as a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage or a Faraday shield is an enclosure used to block some electromagnetic fields. Thousands of new OBE experiencers often report hearing buzzing vibrational sound that remind them of the sound of an electrical arc or feeling a highly intensive vibration. Curiously enough, by some coincidence, our body is no exception and also has electrical qualities. Specifically, our brain and central nervous system controls our body by sending commands and messages to various its parts and receiving feedback via electrical current. So maybe we should take a better look at our nervous system. For example, famous physicist Isaac Pentov in his book Stalking the Wild Pendulum states that human ability of seeing other realities or seeing wider reality comes from an evolved nervous system, meaning that our perceptions of the world around us are limited by our senses that are controlled by the nervous system, and hinting at the fact that people with a slightly more evolved nervous system can see things that are beyond the tiny part of the electromagnetic spectrum that the eye of the regular human can perceive. Now let's see how it works on a small scale. For example, your eyes, that are the external part of your brain and also a part of your nervous system, have slightly bigger amounts of photosensors, and because of that your optic nerve receives a bit more signals and transmits them to your brain, which results in you seeing wider spectrum of colors than your other fellow humans can perceive. Scientists call this mutation tetrachromacy, widely spread around birds and reptiles. However, human tetrachromacy is suspected to exist in a really small percentage of the population. Now, the bigger scale. Indian mystical schools are one of the oldest and most respectful in the world. let's check what is depicted on these Hindu fresks. It's a yogi with a schematically shown nervous system, precisely his spinal cord that goes from the brain all the way down to the belt area. Information about yogis' practices that survive to this day states that ancient yogis of India developed techniques to specifically stimulate and develop the central nervous system, since they believed that it was sacred and served as a doorway to higher realms and evolution of the humankind. On the second picture, it is even shown that after some manipulation that yogi does, the top of his head is set on fire, and through the fire he leaves his body and then travels to the distant places, higher realms, and can see and communicate with gods or advanced teachers like Buddha. On the third picture, we can see how the human spinal cord that is part of the nervous system actually look like, and in the top left we can even see the same schematic depiction of the central nervous system as we saw on the yogis' fresks. Other respected, well-known and ancient mystical schools like Egyptian, Tibetan and Mesoamerican are also in one way or another trying in their practices to develop and improve capabilities of the human nervous system, as if they all would know that there is some secret that is hiding in it. By the way, another link is that all four of them, all four schools admit and see the astral projection or out-of-body experience as a vital part of their secret tradition. Now, what I'm trying to say is that if we continue our investigation on our way, we will find more and more evidence that the human soul, or what in modern days has been called consciousness, is directly linked to the nervous system, and for those who wants to master astral projection first need to take control over his central nervous system. So basically, for the better understanding of this link and the whole mechanism of how it works, imagine a Russian doll, where in the biggest doll, if we will open it up, we will find 4 or 5 smaller versions or copies of the same doll. Same with human beings. Our soul is overlapped with our nervous system. Nervous system are cased in and covered with bones, as if it would be a pilot cabin that must be protected from the damage no matter what. Next goes muscles that play the role of your exoskeleton, so your pilot can easily lift things, walk around and manipulate surrounding environment. And finally, skin. And when your soul/consciousness, that is actually you, wants, for example, to experience the taste of fruit, it gives tiny electrical signals to your nervous system that we know react to them. In its turn, nervous system sends electrical signals along the muscles. Muscles tense up, lifting the body from the couch and making body moves towards the kitchen where the fruits are. You taste the fruit. Your taste buds transmit the signal to the brain in form of an electrical signal, and finally you close the loop and your soul or your consciousness receives another experience. Okay, now let's be more specific and see how the soul feels like. I guarantee you every one of you is familiar with this feeling and experienced it at least once in a lifetime. You just never paid attention. Romanian historian of religion, famous researcher of shamanism, philosopher and professor at the University of Chicago, Mirka Eliade, called this feeling ecstatic state that is often experienced by the shamans whenever they will try to perform their secret rituals. To be more specific, this feeling can be described as when you loudly listen to your favorite song and get completely lost in it, or maybe a song that you associate some deep memories with, when your hair stood on end after watching a horror movie alone at night and you feel like if tiny needles would stick into the skin all over your body. It's feeling of goosebumps on your skin. It's feeling of electrical impulses going on your skin across all your body at the moment of the biggest danger or highest joy. This feeling signals exactly when your soul expands and engages the nervous system, making it so active and awake to the point where all your senses become so sharp that you literally can feel space around you. Senses of electric eels working in the same way when they are on a hunt. Instead of using smell or vision in muddy waters of Amazon, they send weak electrical impulses in the surrounding space, creating some sort of invisible electrical cocoon around them. And when their prey comes into this cocoon, eel sense it and immediately strike with the stronger electrical impulse that paralyzes the prey. But unlikely the Amazon electrical eels, our nervous system isn't adapted to relying on sensing a surrounding area with an electrical field around us, because we don't live in a muddy water and prefer to use touch, smell, vision and our hearing. But if it is not adapted, it doesn't mean that we can't learn how to activate it and subsequently utilize it for our needs, specifically for separating from our physical body. Now let's move on to the exercise section. I practice this exercise to learn how to sense my soul. Over time, I discovered that when you can distinguish between the sensations of your physical body and your astral body, you can shift your mental focus to the feeling of the soul. If you intensify that feeling until it becomes the only thing you sense, your soul will disengage from your physical body and you will start to lift up. This is similar to how a sensory deprivation tank works. In the tank, the temperature of the salty water matches your body temperature. After floating for a while, you can't tell where your body ends and where the water begins. Since you lose the feeling of your body, all that's left is your awareness, fully separated from the physical you. This is exactly where the separation happens. Now, let's see the exercise. Take a seat on a chair, relax, and try to remember the creepy mythical story or a horror movie that gives you goosebumps. In your imagination, dive into that story so deep that it will cause you to feel this electrical excitation all over your body. If you don't get the feeling right away, or maybe some parts of your body have more obvious sensations compared to other parts, don't give up. It can take a few attempts to get used to and learn to feel this ecstatic electrical feeling all over your body. Don't hesitate to manipulate your environment to help yourself. Turn off the light, turn on creepy music, or go to the place that might give you this creepy vibe, like dark basement of your house in the middle of the night when everyone is sleeping, for example. Repeat the exercise as many times as you need so your body and mind can remember this feeling. When you get used to the feeling, try to initiate it throughout the day when you are busy with your day-to-day activities, like work or cooking, cleaning, reading, listening to the podcast, or when you are on a walk. Now, let's see how to apply what we've learned in practice. First, you'll need to go to sleep, but instead of sleeping throughout the night, set an alarm for 4 to 5 hours into your sleep. This way, when you wake up, your mind will still be drowsy and not burdened by daytime stress, while your body will be deeply relaxed. When you wake up, avoid reaching for your phone right away. Simply open your eyes to stay awake without falling back to sleep. Try not to move. Keep your body as relaxed as possible. At this point, activate the electrical cocoon around you. Turn it on and off a few times so your body gets used to the sensation, making sure you can feel it throughout your whole body. Next, when you feel alert enough to stay awake after closing your eyes, activate your electrical cocoon and focus on the front of your body as if you're giving it an upward direction. Once the cocoon is active and it's the only thing you can feel, close your eyes and focus entirely on that sensation. Stay still and wait for your physical body to shut down and fall asleep. You might experience sleep paralysis, where it feels like a heavy blanket is pressing you down into the bed. When your body falls asleep, You'll notice that electrical cocoon expand or feel as if you're moving up and down or gently drifting on waves. You might also hear loud noises or voices as if someone is talking behind you. Ignore these distractions and keep your focus on the sensation of the floating or drifting away. Within a few seconds, you'll fully separate from your body and find yourself either standing near your bed or hovering above it completely free. That's it for this lecture. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. For those trying this method, please share your results with me. I'm gathering feedbacks from the participants so we can all improve and grow together. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.